Okay, what is going on, guys? I am back, and unfortunately my render messed up so badly. I don't know what I've done. I think I clicked something on Cinema 4D by accident and it messed up. Because it took about half hour, 45 minutes. I'm just going to use one that I already done. I'm going to use the Posy image. I'll say on the still same as this. I'm just going to use the Posy text render. Just to be a lot easier and a lot quicker for me. I hope that's alright with you guys. Just because I wanted to get this tutorial done for today, and I know that I've got to get on MWR and hit some clips. So you're going to get your image and drag it out into the middle, just like that. I'm actually going to shrink it down a little bit more. And center it. Now it is looking really dark, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it above these three layers here, and what that's done is kind of brighten out more but still have the light and the exposure on it, just to keep it in that kind of tone. Or shall I put it there? Is that too dark? Is that too bright? That's no different. Oh, decisions now, shit. Cause that's too. Actually, no, I'm gonna put it there. Just because it's a little bit dark at the bottom, but I suppose that's all right. Because I'm gonna put some lighting on there that's gonna make it look. That's gonna bring it to a pop. So, blood splatter. That's where we left off. So I'm gonna grab this one. Control, copy, and paste. And it's white, and we don't like it. And what we want to do is put it over. So the layer itself over your original one. Right click the layer and create clipping mask. Now it's got that red blood splatter over it, so it's not going to go anywhere else but on this. But you still got all this white. And what you want to do is click this little drop down tab and go all the way to darken. And now you've got this lovely blood splatter going straight across, and it's got no white on it. So it still looks real nice and cool. So I'm just going to do one there, hold Alt and drag, and it'll duplicate. And I'm just going to turn it around and put a little bit there, and then go back on it and use something like, what does this look like? Too dark. This one. It's got stupid stuff on it. This one. It's got stupid stuff. Oh, that one. It's got stupid stuff on it. Why have they got stupid silly stuff on it? What about that one? That one's good. So I'm going to use this. Copy. And paste. And you want to do the exact same things you just done with those others. So create clipping mask and darken. And then I'm actually going to shrink this because it's fucking huge. And this one, because it's a splatter, I'm actually just going to... You don't want to put it too much, because if I just put it straight in the middle, you can't really see much. So I'm literally just going to have a little bit of blood like that. And I'm going to put some there. And then I'm just going to grab my brush tool and delete this center bit like that. And then lastly, I'm just going to put a tiny bit at the top here, just to give it that bit extra, just like that. And then what we can actually do is highlight all of these layers and then hit Control E on your keyboard, or right click and merge visible. No, right click. Why is it not? Okay, you know what, forget it, forget because I should be able to just, yeah, there we go. So highlight all of them, right click, merge layers, and what that's done is all put it into one layer. So now if I move this, it's all connected, which is what we want. So now if you go back to this normal layer, click new layer, and now it's open up a new one that's blank, empty, nothing to it. And you're going to want to go to this little drop down tab again and click ellipse tool. What that does, it creates a circle oval thing, and you're going to make one about that size, and just you want to make it quite longer, yeah, quite longer than your image, because you're going to be using, well, this is the way I do it anyway. I'm sure there's loads of other ways, but this is the way I do it. So make it larger, and then just use your eraser to get rid of all of the sharp edges, just like that, and create a smaller oval, and that's going to act as your shadow. So I'm actually just going to shrink it a little bit because it's a bit wide, and just enlarge it a little bit more, just like that. So it looks like a shadow, but it's very black. I mean, shadows don't just look like that on the floor unless it's weirdly bright above you or something. So you're going to want to just go to your opacity and drop your opacity down just a bit. Not too much, because you want to know it's there, but not enough that it just looks like a black dot. So I'm going to leave that like that, because I quite like the way that looks. And then if we go to new layer again, and I'm actually just going to zoom out for this bit, head over to your paintbrush tool, 700, yeah, so I'm going to be using 700 as my paintbrush size, and I'm actually going to use just a straight red, actually I'm going to use a quite darker red for the blood splatter, and I'm just going to put, actually I'm going to make that, make that 900, and I'm just going to do one dot, just like that at the bottom, but I'm actually going to put it all the way to the top, so it's above everything else, and then do a new layer, and do a white, I use straight white just because it's the brightest, and then do again just another bright layer at the top, and zoom zoom zoom. Now that looks disgusting, so I'm just going to get rid of that white layer, just hide it for a minute, and then go back to my opacity and just drop my opacity down, so it's just like a little red glow coming from the bottom, just kind of bringing it out. And how does it look underneath it? I'm actually going to put it behind my image, my posy, just because it kind of brings out the bottom a bit more, whereas if it's above, the light kind of goes over it and you can't see it as much. So what does it look? No, fuck it, forget everything I just said. I'm going to put it above, just so it puts a little bit of red underneath. Yeah, so it just brings out a little bit of colour more. I mean, do I want to use red, or should I use green? I'm going to go back to that one. But anyway, going back to the light, so I just use this real bright white burst, and then I'm just going to cut the opacity down to about 68. So it's still real nice and bright, and it's given that kind of lighting on top of my image, so it's just, as you can see, just at the top here, and it's kind of made it look like there's an actual sunbeam coming straight down. And I'm going to do a little bit of dynamic lighting as well in a minute for you guys, just to show you what kind of dynamic lighting looks like. But for now, yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. And the next thing I'm going to go to my GFX pack, Cool Effects, and then I have this one called Scan Lines, which is a very weird thing. And I'm going to put it over the top here, and as you can see, it's done these bars that go across. And if I just hide them, so it does make it a little bit brighter, but I don't know, I think it just looks real cool, just putting these lines through it. It gives it that kind of texture on the banner, and kind of it just kind of defines it. That's the word I was looking for. It gives it that kind of sleeker look. Also, another one I'm going to use is Rain. Rain 1. And put that over here. And I'm going to put it underneath the scan lines, just because the scan line is going to be my top layer. And I'm just going to duplicate it like that. So there's a nice rain covering over, and just merge those two together. And set to screen like that. And I mean, that does look alright, but it's too much rain. I mean, you don't want to soak it. So I'm just going to drop the opacity quite low, just so you can see there's bits of spitting rain. Same on the scan lines actually. I'm just gonna drop the scan lines down a little bit, and raise the rain a bit more, just like that. Yeah, that's perfect. So you can see the rain just kind of in the dark areas, which is quite cool. And same with the scan lines. The scan lines you can kind of only see in the dark areas as well, which just means it doesn't really affect this image much. It just, you know, where it's dark, you can see rain, and it gives it that cool little effect. Another little kind of thing you can do is bubbles, like this. And put bubbles, and I'm just going to click and shrink to about the same size as the posy, and bring it down, create clipper mask, and overlay. Overlay? Darken. Yeah, darken. And as you can see, I've got now bubbles on my posy, and I'm just going to pop them like at the top and drop the opacity down a little bit, because, you know, it's raining, and it's going to give it that kind of look like the image has got a bit wet. So I'm just going to put a couple of little bubbles at the top here, maybe duplicate and just put a couple more down at the bottom. Cool. So that's that bit done, and I will be back because my recording's about to go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So I'll be back in a second. Bye.